Here we have verse 20 of the 18th chapter of the Gospel of John. We're in the midst of a conversation, presumably between Jesus and Annas, who is functioning in some ways as an informal high priest. He had been the high priest, but was deposed years earlier, replaced by a couple of his sons, and now his son-in-law, Caiaphas, is actually the official high priest, but Annas obviously exercises a fair amount of authority in connection with these matters, and so Jesus finds himself in front of Annas in the first instance, and we have now the conversation in which Annas has put to Jesus the question concerning his disciples, concerning his teaching, and Jesus responds with apokrythe from apokrynomai. I answer. It'll take the dative. This is the third person singular, aorist active indicative of this deponent verb, and so apokrythe, he answered. Here's the dative object of it, singular and masculine. So he answered him, that is the person questioning him. The subject of the verb is Jesus. So Jesus answered him, and then with emphasis now, ego. So I emphasized, and then parasia. This is actually a noun. It's in the dative, and it has to do with a kind of dative of reference. So we'd say the noun form of it in English would be something like openness, that sort of thing. I, with respect to openness, literally, or openly, would be the notion to give it more of an adverbial construction. So I openly, lelaleka, from laleo, I speak. This is the first person singular, perfect active indicative. So I, in openness, have spoken, and in a sense my words continue to be fully available out there. Very sweeping. To, the article, it's in the dative singular masculine, and then the noun it goes with cosmo, the world. And so I, in an open sort of way, have spoken and continue to speak, as it were, to the world. Nothing secret. This is no mystery religion, but of course Jesus has been perfectly public in the way he's conducted himself. Ego, again adding here the word for emphasis, and then pantote. Pantote means ever. Literally it's pan and then tote, all whens, you might say, at all times, every when you can imagine. I, ever or always. Didagza, from didasco, I teach. This is the first person singular, aorist active indicative. So I always taught. In, preposition takes the dative. Here we have the dative of synagogue, dative singular of this feminine noun. So in synagogue, you might say, kind of a generic notion of teaching openly in synagogues. And then using the definite article, we have the additional reference here, kai, the connective, in, same thing, takes the dative to, in the temple. So there's one temple, there were multiple synagogues, and Jesus is saying, I taught synagogally, you might say, I taught in the synagogues and in the temple. And then hupo, this is a conjunction, it means where. And then pantes, all, the masculine, plural, nominative all, hoi udaiu, all the Jews. Sunerkontai, from sunerkamai, to come together is the idea. This is the third person plural, imperfect active indicative. So it is the idea of where all of the, or I should say the present active indicative, where all of the Jews come together, they traffic back and forth within the synagogues, and kai, in, same preposition with the dative in krypto, from cryptic, the idea in English of being secret. This is the root of that word. It's an adjective here used substantively, so in a secret sort of way, or secretly. Elalesa, this is the first person singular aorist active indicative of the same verb that we have here, laleo. And in secret, I spoke uden, nothing. Again, an adjective which is used here in its normal sense. So Jesus says, you're asking me about my teaching, you're asking me about my disciples, and I've been perfectly open and public in the way I've conducted myself. And all of the information you're seeking is well known. The word is out there on the street. I've not been trying to develop some kind of secret society in connection with the question you're putting to me.